You say that all whites are racist. Can you expound on that, please?
Any white person who was born, raised, and schooled in the United States of America, if you aren't a racist, you're a miracle. Either that or you decided to educate yourself. Because education in this country is about white is right, brown's all right, black's got to stand back. Yellow's mellow, but whites, we educate in a way that says that white males have done all the adventures, have made all the adventures, have done all the discovering, have made all, everything that is good and has been accomplished according to social studies, which is actually anti-social studies, by white males. It's a lie. But we do that in order to maintain the myth of white superiority.
Jane did a really good job here. Let's talk about her point on if you're not racist, it's a miracle. If it sounds crazy to you, it's not. In the United States, we learn through a white male perspective. The history books that we read are written by white men. The media that we consume have been written by white men, is currently controlled by white men. It affects our subconscious thinking. Because Americans are forced to view the world through a white male perspective, we are consuming the white male's perspective on the truth. We're not consuming the neutral truth. Another special thing about what Jane presented here is this lack of blame. She's not blaming the average American. She's not saying, oh, hey, you're a bad person. She's simply explaining how unbelievably unlikely it would be to be American, raised in the American school system, and to not be subconsciously racist. It's just really, really, like, virtually impossible. It would be miraculous. Remember that word she used, miracle. We're raised by the white male perspective. It will still affect all of us. By acknowledging the effect, whether we're purposely racist or not, we're able to address it thoughtfully.
The Black community has long suffered under the weight of systemic racism and discrimination. As white people, it is our responsibility to use our privilege to support and uplift the Black community. Here are a few ways that we can be better allies. Listen and learn. We need to listen to Black voices and experiences without interrupting or dismissing them. We should educate ourselves on the history of systemic racism and the ways that it continues to impact the Black community today. We should seek out resources, books, and documentaries that help us understand the issues. Next, speak up. We should use our privilege to speak up against racism and discrimination. We should challenge racist comments and behaviors, even if it's uncomfortable. Silence that which perpetuates racism. We should support Black-owned businesses in our communities. We should advocate for policies that support economic justice and equity. Donate to Black-led organizations. Financially support Black-led organizations that are working to address systemic racism and inequality. It can be done through regular contributions or contributing to certain campaigns and initiatives. We should also use our platforms for good as white people. We have access to platforms and audiences that the Black community may not have. We should use our platforms to amplify Black voices and perspectives, raise awareness about issues affecting the Black community, and promote positive change. Be open to feedback and learning from our mistakes, as we will make mistakes along the way. But it's important to acknowledge them, apologize, and learn from them. We should be open to feedback and willing to change our behavior and perspectives as we continue to learn and grow. Being a better ally to the Black community requires a willingness to listen, learn, and take action. It requires us to use our privilege for good, support Black-owned businesses and communities, and speak up against racism and discrimination. It's up to all of us to work towards a more just and equitable society, and being a better ally is an important step If you like the content and benefit from it, give me a follow.
Hello there, people of the internet. I really hope you're doing fine from whichever part of the world you are watching this from. Now, on our today's episode, we have a very interesting topic whereby many of these white folks are raged that black people are not falling for their gaslighting. For a long time, the black community has been sidelined. They have been going through a lot of terrible things, ranging from racism, inequality and all that. But they've been silent through all this, and they've been trying to find ways to cope around with all this situation. Now that the whole thing has turned against the white community and they're going through the same, they are trying to gaslight the black community into maybe a civil war or into an altercation. So let's have a look at these few clips and then have a quick discussion at the end of it.
In case you're new here, I want to make it very clear where my husband and I stand in all of the chaos that is happening here in the United States. And I'm going to say it one more time. We stand with marginalized people. We stand with Black people, Hispanic people, trans people, gay people, Muslim people, anyone who is being villainized in this very moment that you can think of. We stand for them. And I am tired as a white woman not seeing enough white people calling out the bullshit that is happening right now. If you've got Black friends, Hispanic friends, trans friends, gay friends, and you are being quiet and you are not calling out other white people when they start saying racist, transphobic, Islamophobic, any kind of horrible remarks, you are equally a part of the problem. We do not need to let other people be comfortable in their hatred anymore. It is our job as any progressive white person to stand up and call out bullshit when we hear it and to make these people feel uncomfortable enough to go back into hiding or to second guess the things that they are supporting, doing, and saying. And no, we do not have to be close to these people, stay friends with these people, have relationships with these people if they are continuously saying things that hurt marginalized people. I have seen too many white people, the minute their Black friends aren't around, feel comfortable enough to sit there and listen to some bullshit that their friend might have to say that is racist and not stand up for their Black friend. And then you wonder why Black people don't want to fuck with us anymore. I am no longer going to not say anything to these people and be quiet. There is nothing okay with what is happening right now. And so if you are new to my page and you have started following us, I just want to let you know right here, right now, one more time, because I said it a few weeks ago, that this is where I stand. And if you come on this page and you spew any hate or any bull crap and you start talking about these other people, these marginalized groups, and you have no facts that even back up what you are saying other than Fox News, I will block you. That is it.
I was ignorant of just how bad white supremacy was until I started speaking against it. I thought, of course, racism is real, but I'm sure there's plenty of white people out there who want to fix it. There's plenty of people who want to fix the system so that it's better for everybody. The moment I started calling it out for exactly what it is, that's when things started to shift, and that's when I realized the sheer amount of hatred. And I didn't expect for people that I knew to personally attack me, tell me that I was being too divisive, to lose so many people that I thought were friends of mine. Didn't expect the constant threats of violence or being targeted by neo-Nazis online so badly that they leaked my phone number. I didn't expect to be turned into an internet meme and called Crash Out Kylie and subsequently targeted by white supremacists. I didn't think the journey would be easy, but I do sincerely think that I was blind to just how deeply white supremacy runs. And that is certainly a bias that I have as a white person because I never experienced this hatred until I started speaking against it. The truth is that speaking out against racism as a white person isn't divisive, it's necessary. And despite being doxxed and ostracized from my community, I strongly recommend that other white people do the same. Because why would you want to be friends with somebody who's hell-bent on silencing your voice and the voice of people of color?
I am Kylie, and white conservatives are terrified of POC outnumbering us. And I truly believe this is the motivation behind a lot of hateful policies in the US. If you haven't heard of the Great Replacement Theory, it is that over time, if enough black and brown immigrants come to the US, as well as white people having children with POC, then over time, POC will outnumber white people. And the reason that this is so unsettling to a lot of white people, especially conservative white people, is that they are terrified that if POC become in power, then they will treat us like we've treated them in the past, which is obviously not great. It involves subjugation of people, enslavement, assault, violence of basically every kind. And I think that white people can feel the shift happening as they are becoming more and more outnumbered. And that is why they are clinging so tightly to power in Congress and with the president right now. And that's why it's so funny when white people deny that racism exists, because if they didn't think racism did exist, they wouldn't be scared of being outnumbered. But they understand the ways that we have treated people of color has been atrocious, and thus they are scared of the tables turning and of being in that position of subjugation.
White people, let's talk about it. Let's talk about our violence. White violence. No more deflecting, no more blaming everything on everybody else. Let's confront ourselves. White people in America, our history is so extremely violent. And instead of confronting that, we continue to blame other people for the issues and the problems in this country, instead of just taking ownership of our part to play in everything, which is a huge part. Can we stop scapegoating other groups of people, please, and just look at ourselves? White people, it's time to talk about it. Like, it's long past time. Getting rid of other groups of people in this country is not going to make this country better. It's not going to make your life better. It's not going to make you better. I think white people are so scared to talk about race and to talk about white violence and white supremacy because they don't want to connect themselves to it. We don't want to feel like we're a part of the problem. But unless you're acknowledging the reality of how the US, this country, runs, you are a part of the problem. I truly believe in my heart, in my soul, that if you're born a white person in this country or on this planet, but I'll just speak about this country, part of that journey is to dismantle systems that have been built to oppress other people. The hard work of life is to confront yourself. How do I benefit from the way that things are? And how does my benefiting from those things harm other people? And instead of walking around with, 1,000-pound bag of shame on your back, consider it your responsibility to do that work. Consider it an opportunity that you are in the best possible position to make this world a better place by not accepting racist and prejudiced and oppressive systems for what they are and trying to contribute to changing them. Use the privilege that you have for good. I don't think that anybody can ever really love themselves without being honest about themselves, without being honest with themselves. And that work is painful and hard, but it's so worth it. White people, you don't have to consciously think that you're better than other people in order to contribute to harm against them. All it takes to contribute to harm is to stay silent and disengaged. White people, can we finally get this shit right? Can we finally take accountability? Can we finally look ourselves in the mirror and decide that this isn't good enough? We're not doing a good enough job. You aren't losing because somebody else is safe and cared for. You aren't losing because somebody different than you exists. White people, let's talk about it. Let's start having these conversations with ourselves and with each other. It's time.
I'm just gonna say it, right? If more people, more white people would stand up against racism, we could probably get it to damn near end, y'all. I'll stand up for it. I know racism isn't right, but I need more white people to jump on this train to help me take a stand against racism. There are white people out here, y'all, that's got people thinking that we are all racist when that is not what's going on. So we have got to put a message out to take a stand against racism. Like, I will start it off. I don't care. I will stand alone in it if I have to. But if you're a white person and you're with me on this, help me push the content out. There's only one way to do this, and it comes with just being in unison. That's the only way. There is power in numbers, y'all. I don't care if you're black, Mexican, Indian, Asian, whatever it is that your race, ethnicity is. You don't have to be white for me to like you. And everybody else that feels this way, I need you to get on this train right now.
What would happen if 200 women from all around the country made a singular decision? The decision that wherever they are, racism cannot also be. What if after making their decision, they had a framework and set of definitions and toolkit and resources, all carefully curated by Black women who are also internationally recognized racial equity strategists? What would be different in American homes and in communities, in workplaces, in schools, in healthcare systems? What would be different if women, white women specifically, were to make that decision with Black women supporting them? Not only am I curious about that, I've carved out an entire program to make it happen. Let's talk about it September 19th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Register today.
White people, if we want racism to truly go away in America, our voices have to be some of the loudest in condemning it. If you've been paying attention at all, you know and you understand the aggressive attempt that is happening right now to whitewash our world. We've had many people with black or brown skin color removed from prominent positions within the government. We've even had their achievements removed from government websites. There's a blatant attempt to rewrite history when it comes to slavery, with some going as far as to say it wasn't that bad, or we should teach it more gently. And that's just the very tip of the iceberg. White people, do you want to live in a world that is completely void of color? Do any of you guys not hang out with people of different skin color than you? Where are your voices on their behalf? Why are things like this happening over and over again to them, and we are not screaming in enragement? And most importantly, why are we expecting them to do anything whatsoever to combat this? They didn't create this problem. People who look like us did, and people who look like us continue to perpetuate the problem. So then it's people who look like us whose voices have to be the loudest in condemning their behaviors. No, it's not okay to come after our friends who aren't white. No, it's not okay to minimize them. No, it's not okay to hurt or harm them. We are the ones with the privilege, and nothing is going to change unless we use our voices on their behalf. Nobody is better than anybody else because of the color of their skin. But our government is trying to send the opposite message. The only way to stop that is for our voices to be louder, for us to shame people for having such backwards and racist thinking, to call people out when they say the quiet parts out loud. If you're white, I don't know what you're waiting for. The time is now. I've never organized any kind of march or protest before, but it would be my absolute dream, while our black and brown brothers and sisters are at home resting, for all of us white people to be out marching on their behalf, standing in solidarity and support of their communities. I will say this on record: if anybody is in the midst of organizing something like this, please contact me. I will lend my voice however I possibly can to your cause. Right now we have a bunch of white people that are united in their common goals of supremacy. We have to have a bunch of white people that are on the opposite side as a counter resistance to their efforts. If racism is going to stop, we have to be the ones to stop it.
I never thought one day I would be forced to do this, but let's do it. Do you know what it means to endure centuries of humiliation, dehumanization, and systematic violence and still rise and wake up every morning not to burn the world down but try to fix it? That's grace, that's power, and that's black people. You lynched our bodies, you tried to erase our languages, you turned our cultures into a costume, and when we stood up for ourselves, you called it hate, you called it reverse racism, you called us ungrateful. Ungrateful for surviving your systems. You inherited wealth from stolen labor. You live on land drenched in the blood of our ancestors. Your schools, your hospitals, your companies are all built on the backs of people who never had the right to say no. And still, we are expected to smile, to forgive, and to move on. But let me tell you the inconvenient truth. We moved on from chains, but you still hold the whip. And still, we didn't riot. We didn't retaliate. We marched. We protested. And we voted. We extended a hand. You should thank God we didn't raise a fist, because history owes us blood. We asked for dignity. We were owed reparations. We asked for reform. We were enslaved. We asked for equity. So let that sink in. We asked for peace not because we trust you, but because we refuse to become like you. But peace is not permanent. It is not unconditional. It is not free. It lives or dies by how you treat the people who gave it to you. So be grateful. Be grateful that we still believe in humanity. Be grateful that our anger hasn't turned into fire. Be grateful that our pain hasn't erupted into war. So if you are smart, you will stop asking us to get over apartheid and start asking why we had to survive it in the first place.
Now, thank you so much for watching up until the end. And I'd love to clarify that this is in no way championing for racism against the white community or whichever community, but it's just trying to illustrate, support the black folks in what they're going through. And I'd like to put it clear that the black folks' silence has, some people have been misinterpreting their silence for, some people saying they're not going through these hardships, they're not going through all these forms of trauma. But in reality, the black community are still going through that. It's just that the black people are somehow resilient. They are they normally find ways to cope with every situation, and that's just what's happening. So they are not loud, they are not vocal about it, but it's not because they are not suffering during this economic crisis, but it's because they try to find different ways to survive, being that this has been what has been going on for a long time. So I would also love to appreciate a few accounts of some of these white folks that are normally vocal against the rights of the black people. We have this lady known as Kyle Brewer. She is normally very vocal against indiscrimination, against racism being done towards the black folks. We have Thomas the Villain Bishop. He is always on point, always standing up and supporting the black folks. And we also have this lady, Count is known as Key Change. She is also part of this change. But then they are saying that however much they try to champion for the rights of the black folks, there is always five. If you are one person fighting for the rights of the black folks, then there are five more dragging you back. So this is all as a result of the white supremacists. We all know that education in America is solely based on white supremacy, and their economy and all that they build is based on lies, manipulation, and all that. So it's time that we all have to speak up. We all have to take our roles in the formation of a more, equal society whereby there is no any hatred, there is no racism towards a community, either you are a Hispanic, Asian, Black American, White American. We all need to play our parts in the development of a free society, a very fair and equal society. And then there is a famous philosophies that say that if you keep quiet during the time of an injustice, then you are siding with the oppressor. Sorry. So that means each and every person of us should, you know, stand up for what is right, stand up for the truth, and yeah, just champion for equality against each and everyone. So whites have been lied to. They have been lied to, and all they have is because of lies, manipulation, and all that. But then, what needs to be understood is that the black folks do not want to revenge all this that were done to them by the white folks, but they are just trying to, they're trying to fight for their own space, to fight for equality, to fight for all that against racism. That is what they're trying to do. I understand that some white folks are thinking that all these discussions going on online about black and white communities because of revenge or that, then I would love to say that the black community is the chosen community, and I don't think if they are after revenge or anything, but they are just trying to, champion for a free and a fair society whereby they are treated equally as the rest of the folks. So thank you so much for watching. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my name is Dev KE, and this is Real Talk Black, whereby we handle all the contemporary love issues and the issues that are affecting the black community. Please take a minute to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I also realized that majority of the people that watch the channel are only watching, but they're not subscribed. So please, if you don't mind giving me a support, then please take a minute to subscribe, like, and share, so that I can continue to, be more vocal against such issues in the society. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.